Hello, my name is Henry Madd. I'm a writer and a workshop facilitator, which basically means I go around doing some sort of freelance writing workshops, specifically focusing on writing for well-being and how we can use writing as a tool to check in with ourselves and our own mental states. Thank you very much to Neil for putting this on. I'm very sad that we can't be doing this in person. Originally, I was just going to be coming and doing a performance about some of my work, but now I get to teach this workshop, which is also really exciting. So for me, the reason I like doing this is that I find writing is a really great tool for helping put into words things that I'm going through, helping me to articulate experiences, put into words what I'm feeling, whether it's good or bad. And over the years, this has just been a really nice tool for getting through things. Whether it makes them better or not, at least you sort of come out at the end and you can say, well, at least I've got a piece of writing out of it. So we're going to do about 3 exercises. The whole thing will take about half an hour, 45 minutes, or even longer or shorter, depending on how much time you want to spend on each bit. And we're not going to be finding out how to become incredible writers. All we are going to do is use these exercises to take a moment to reflect on ourselves and check in with how we're feeling. So with that, our very first exercise, I should probably say all you'll need for this is a pen, paper, and a stopwatch or something to write with to time the activities. I'll be pausing the video, or if you could pause the video in between each activity, or just, I can keep the size of this video a bit smaller. So first of all, you take your pen and your paper, or if you prefer writing on a computer, that's also fine. But for this first exercise, pen and paper is really useful. And I just want you, with your pen on your paper, to take a little moment to roll your shoulders back, unclench your jaw if you've got any tension anywhere, and just breathe in and out, and then just think about any anxiety or worry or fear or doubt that you might have had before choosing to come and do this workshop, before clicking on this video, whether it was that you thought it'd be boring, or whether you thought that you wouldn't know how to write, or that you just were feeling a bit unsure. If you came to this with a really open mind and no fears at all, good on you, that's brave. Maybe think about another fear or anxiety or worry or trouble that's going on in your brain at the moment that you've been sort of holding on to. If you've got lots, just try and pick one for now and just write that on the page, whether that's one word or a couple of words, but keep it really simple. And just write that onto the page. If you need a bit of time to think, just pause me. And sort of go over each letter, really put it out there on the page. Dig it in. If you want to draw arrows or exclamation marks, underline, sort of give it a bit of a, or decorate for how that matches up with how it makes you feel. I'm doing it myself. And we're just going to do, tear that out. That's why this bit's good if you've got a paper and pen. It doesn't quite work so well if you're on a laptop. Don't worry, you don't have to show this to anyone. And I just want you to take it, fold it up, so maybe look at it one last time. And then just to sort of let go of that, I just want you to tear it up. If you're in a safe place, set fire to it, I don't know. Stick water on it, chuck it in the bin, and just let that feel go. It might say something a bit stupid, or a bit of a daft thing to do, but I find it's quite a nice way of just, as an initial way of letting go the initial anxieties or fears I have before I do something like this. And I get them from teaching, or I get them when I do them. So I hope you've done that. As I said, if you need more time, please pause. But we're going to move on to our next activity now. And that will be what I call free writing. Some people call it stream of conscious. Some people call it morning pages. And basically what it is, to get to the creativity that's sort of really there in our brains, and to get to sort of the root of what we're feeling, we have to sort of get past all the junk and all the thoughts and feelings that cloud our minds every day. To make a better point of it, perhaps, you know, when you're trying to sleep and you can't sleep and you've got everything buzzing around and like thoughts come flitting in and out and none of them really make any sense or add up, but there's just lots of them. It's almost like having like a junkyard, like a scrap heap in your mind, all this clutter from the day. And to try and get rid of that, we're just going to try and write it down in a stream of consciousness. And the idea of this is to just turn off your internal censor. This isn't about saying, oh, I want to write something good, or I can't write, or I've never been any good at writing. This is literally just taking what's in your mind and putting it down on the page. No one will ever have to see this. And the only goal is you can't stop typing or you can't stop writing. Even if you're just drawing circles or swirls or writing random words going blah, 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 until suddenly another word takes over your mind, and then you can sort of go on a new path with that. The only thing is that you just can't stop writing, and don't take a moment to read over what you've written. Don't take a moment to judge it or question it or make it good. But we're just going to do that, and we're going to do that for 3 minutes, or between 3 or 5 minutes. Let's say if you do this exercise a lot, you can take it up to 15 minutes. That's probably the most amount of time I'd spend on this. It's quite a nice one to do regularly. So yeah, we're going to take 3 to 5 minutes just to write down all the thoughts that are in our brain. And perhaps to start this off, because sometimes the blank page is quite a scary thing. If we all work with the same prompt of, let's go with, today I feel, or today I don't feel. And just write, today I feel, or today I don't feel, and don't judge it. Question: if you want to do something else, perhaps I remember, or today I am grateful for, or just something like that. If you end up deviating off this point completely, that's also completely fine. If you're like, today I feel, and then start talking about badges, do that. Just, this is all about, don't judge it, just let it go. I'm just going to give you the today I feel as an initial prompt. So if you want to, feel free to just set a timer on your phone or stopwatch, whatever you've got around you, oven, and pause this video and set a timer for about 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how you're feeling. And I'll see you after that. Welcome back. If you're watching this straight through, it's going to look a bit odd. But I hope that was all right for you. I hope perhaps now you have finished, maybe take a second to look back over it and sort of underline any words you like. I rarely get anything I like out of this exercise, but I do find it helps to sort of get rid of anything. I know some people who will do this and they'll come out with like full stories or full poems. It's really frustrating. But for me, it's all about just getting rid of that clutter. Then we're going to move on to our next exercise, which is just going to be writing a list of potentially 10 things, maybe more, maybe less. As I said, this is up to you guys, whatever you choose to do. And I just want you to write 5 statements of 5 I ams and 5 I am nots. 5 I ams and 5 I am nots. This can be anything from the obvious or the mundane, or hello, I am Henry, I am sitting here, to the weird and the surreal, to I am not a sandwich, to something perhaps you're feeling, I am feeling happy, or I'm feeling emotional, or I'm feeling lost at sea on a 1,000-year voyage. Go as poetic, go as simple, go as blunt and obvious as you want. Just 5 I ams and 5 I am nots. And if you find yourself writing more negative things, try and push yourself to write some more positive ones. If you're only writing positive things, amazing, enjoy that. Maybe try and think if there's anything that you're perhaps not being quite honest about, and just write it down. As I said, you don't need to show anyone this, just be honest with yourselves and just think, I am. You can take this seriously, it can be funny, it can be lighthearted, or it can be more more serious, however you want. It can be a mixture. And so if you want to pause me while you do that, that's fine. And so when you've got your list of about 10 things, maybe you've just got 3 for each, or just 3 overall, and that's what you're really happy with. Maybe you've got 20. If there's one idea you really like and that ends up taking its own tangent, please go back and write more with that. But now looking at your list, I would like you to get 3 statements. So as long as you've got about 3, that's fine. You just might be repeating them. I want to take your 3 favorite statements out of the 2 lists, out of the I ams and the I am nots, and just rewrite those. And if possible, I'd like you to end it on a positive one, on a positive affirmation, on a, whether it's a I am feeling good or I am not scared. It can be an I am or an I am not, as long as it's positive. And when you end on that one, if you could repeat it as well. So you just say it twice, almost like a little mantra. If you want to pause me while you do that. Amazing. I'm really sad that I can't hear what you've all been writing. Please, if there's anything you'd like to share, contact Neil, and he can send it on to me. Or if you have any questions, please feel free to contact Neil, and he can perhaps put us in contact if you want to know any more about these exercises, or if you want any more information if I haven't described them properly. I'm trying to labour the points a bit more, but if I'm not being clear, please just get in touch. So we're going to do our final exercise now. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. This will be our last exercise, and I'm just going to share with you a poem by a philosopher and poet called Rumi. Some of you may know, and he's got this quite famous poem called The Guest House, and I'm just going to read it through with you guys here. Obviously you can look it up yourselves, but it goes like this. This being human is a guest house. Each morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honourably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. And obviously you can look that poem up and look into it a bit more if you'd like, but I thought it'd be quite nice if we could all write our own guest house poems, thinking about something we'd like to invite into our houses, into our beings, our bodies, our lives, our mindsets, or perhaps something we want to kick out. Maybe we've got a lot of anger we're holding on that's been not paying rent for a few years and needs to sling his hook, or maybe you need to welcome in something like acceptance. It's quite good if you have this poem up while you're doing it, just as some inspiration, although obviously you don't want to copy it. And just think about the kind of thing you want to invite into your life. You could perhaps think of them as a personified guest. Perhaps it's someone who's like really confident and light and airy and welcome this great character in, or maybe it's this sort of like shabby character who just needs to get out of there, or maybe you'll choose to go in a whole different direction with it. And just see what you come up with. So that's our final exercise. Normally when I've tested this out, we've had about 10 to 15 minutes. It's quite good if you can give yourself a deadline, because it forces you to sit there and write it. But obviously, please feel free to spend more time or to go back and visit any of these exercises. The free writing that we did at the start is really nice if you do that sort of regularly. If you can start to do that a few mornings a week, or even every morning, it's meant to be better if you do it in the mornings, but any time of the day is also fine. I hope your guest house poems go well. And if you have any questions or want to share anything, please feel free to get in touch. Thank you very much. Goodbye.